Yeah. No, Nihar, what is your name? Monica, I wanted to tell you about this NIACL AO interview questions. These are the questions that were asked recently in our United India Insurance and a few days back in our, say, NIACL and all that. The one problem with your, what is that? Insurance companies is that they may ask something related to banking, something related to insurance, something related to your subject, something related to, say, your native place, anything they can ask. So that's what it is. Mm, Now, when they ask questions like this, how do we manage? Let me go from the reverse. A lot of questions are for specialized AO. You are going for generalist AO. Many of them are for specialist AO. That is medicine, AO health, legal health, legal AO. Then NIACL legal, automobile, generalist. Something is coming here. Yeah, generalist. Inflation K pros and cons. Yeah, now this is the mini mock interview for Monica, Niharika, and Balendra. Inflation के pros and cons क्या है? What can you please answer me? What is the pros and cons of inflation? Monica, please answer me. Or Niharika, can you answer me? What is the pros and cons of inflation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So one of the pros of inflation is it provides growth in the country. It is considered a growth when there's inflation, and there are cons also, as loan due to inflation, demand gets low, and also loans are costly. So the production cycle and the employment and everything gets affected because of this inflation.
Okay. Now, Balendra, can you hear me? Can you speak now? Balendra, can you hear me? Can you speak now? You are in. Your mic is not all right. 1 minute. I am not seen. Your mic is not all right. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. No problem. Please get it repaired. Now, Monica, could you hear me? Monica. Monica cannot hear me. Now, the pros and cons of inflation. Miss Niharika, can you read this? Inflation.
Yes. Inflation, the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services rises, can have both positive and negative effects on an economy. In the context of India, a country with a diverse and dynamic economy, the pros and cons of inflation can be particularly nuanced. Here's a detailed analysis. Pros of inflation in India. First is stimulates economic growth, encourages spending and investment. Moderate inflation can encourage consumers and businesses to spend and invest rather than hoard money, anticipating that prices will be higher in the future. Next is debt relief. Inflation can reduce the real value of debt, making it easier for borrowers to repay loans. loans. This is particularly beneficial for businesses and individuals with significant debt as their repayments become cheaper in real terms. Next is revenue for government. Uh, Increased tax revenues. As prices rise, so do nominal incomes, leading to higher tax revenues for the government without increasing tax rates. This can be particularly useful for funding public services and infrastructure projects. Next is wage adjustments. Higher wages. Inflation often leads to higher nominal wages. This can be beneficial for workers, especially if wage growth outpaces inflation, improving their purchasing power over time. Next is encourages innovation and productivity. Investment in technology. Businesses might invest in new technologies and processes to counter rising costs, leading to increased productivity and innovation. Cons of inflation in India. First is reduced purchasing power. Cost
Mm,
of living increases. For consumers, inflation erodes purchasing powers as the same amount of money buys fewer goods and services. This can be particularly hard on lower income households who spend a larger portion of their income on essentials. Another is uncertainty and reduced investment. Economic uncertainty. High and predictable inflation can
mm,
create uncertainty, making it difficult for businesses to plan for the future, potentially reducing investment. Interest
mm,
rate volatility. Inflation often leads to higher interest rates as central banks try to control price rises, increasing borrowing cost and potentially stifling economic growth.
mm,
Next is savings erosion, negative impact on savings. Inflation erodes the real value of savings, which can discourage people from saving money. This is particularly detrimental to retirees and those relying on fixed incomes. Next is balance of payment issues. Competitiveness. High inflation can impact exports, less competitive on the global market. If domestic goods become more expensive relative to goods from other countries, potentially leading to trade deficit. Income redistribution, inequitable effects. Inflation can disproportionately affect different segments of the population. Those with fixed incomes or without the ability to increasing their earnings suffer more, with those while those with assets that appreciate in value with inflation can benefit. Conclusion is inflation in India, like in any other country, is a double-edged sword. Moderate inflation can promote economic growth, stimulate spending, and reduce the real burden of debt. However, if inflation is too high or volatile, it can lead to reduced purchasing power, economic uncertainty, and unfair income redistribution. Policymakers aim to balance inflation to harness its benefits while minimizing its adverse effects. For India, with its vast and varied economy, maintaining this balance is crucial for sustainable economic development.
good. Thank you. You read nicely.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, in this interview, they have asked this question: inflation of pros and cons, then population pros and cons. So, this is again another interesting thing. And now I will stop this with this because Monica is not available now.